You know, we're literally swimming in a sea of invisible signals all the time. Today, we're going to tune in and actually see what's hiding in there, to explore the hidden data and forgotten broadcasts just waiting to be found.
I mean, really think about that for a second. We think of radio as, for music or for news, but what if it could pull live, real-time maps, text messages, and even old-school television shows right out of the air? Well, the crazy thing is, it can. So let's dive right in. The very air around you right now is just packed with these signals. And we're not just talking about your Wi-Fi or your cell phone signal, but broadcast services carrying a shocking amount of data. All we need is the right key to unlock it all. And that key, my friends, is something called software-defined radio, or SDR for short. It's this amazing piece of technology that basically turns your computer into a do-it-all universal radio scanner. It's the tool that makes this whole adventure possible. And here's the really cool part, how this whole thing works. A lot of these SDR dongles, they're actually just cheap USB TV tuners in disguise. With their normal standard driver, they just pick up digital TV, and this is the magic trick, if you install a different driver, that exact same piece of hardware suddenly becomes this incredibly powerful all-access scanner. And we're not talking about cracking open the case with a soldering iron here. Nope. As you can see, it's literally just a software switch. A couple of clicks inside a menu and boom. You've completely transformed your little TV tuner into a gateway to explore the entire radio spectrum. All right, so now that we've got our master key, let's start opening some doors and see what we can find. First, we're moving past the static of old analog stations and stepping into the clean, crisp world of digital audio. Okay, first up on our journey is DAB, or digital audio broadcasting. You can kind of think of it like the HD version of regular old FM radio. It's super popular in Europe and Asia, and it gives you this really crystal clear sound. Plus, it can carry extra data right alongside the music. So, with software like you see here, our SDR can tune right into those DAB signals. Yeah, the interface might look a little intimidating at first, but what you're really doing is super simple. You're capturing high-quality digital radio stations yourself, straight from the air. Okay, but listening to audio is just the beginning. Radio isn't just for listening anymore. Let's open the second door, where we're going to find data that's been hiding in plain sight this whole time, inside the very FM signals you hear every day. This is the radio data system, or RDS. You know when you're in your car and the name of the song or the station pops up on the display? Yeah, that's RDS. It's just a little stream of digital text that's basically piggybacking on a normal FM radio broadcast. And this is such a cool way to see where that data actually lives. When you look at an FM station with an SDR, you see that big mountain right in the middle? That's the music, the voices, the audio. But that tiny little spike off to the side? That's the RDS signal, carrying all that text. Okay, so getting this to work involves a little bit of what I'd call digital plumbing. You're basically using a virtual cable to send the signal from one program to another. But the idea is simple. You capture the signal, you send it to a decoder program, and you watch as all that hidden text just magically appears on your screen. All right, get ready for this, because this next part is where things get really wild. We found audio, we found text, but what if a radio signal could carry something way, way bigger? And that brings us to HD radio. It's mainly a thing in North America, and it's another digital standard, but this one is built to carry a much, much heavier load of data, right along with its high-quality audio. And you can spot one of these signals a mile away on a spectrum display. You see those two perfect little rectangles on either side of the main signal? That's not static, that's not interference, that's pure data. And what's inside that data is just incredible. It turns out some of these stations are broadcasting data packets that are meant for the navigation systems in cars. We're talking real-time traffic information, live weather data, all being sent out constantly over the airwaves. Well, with the right software, you can actually snatch those packets out of the air and put them back together. And what you get is just, well, it's mind-blowing. Live weather radar, traffic flow maps, all of it displayed right on your computer, pulled directly out of thin air. It's a live data feed hiding inside a radio station. Okay, for our last stop on this tour, we're going to do a bit of digital archaeology. We're going to tune into signals that are basically ghosts, echoes of a technology that most people think is long gone. So, you know how most places have switched to digital TV, right? Well, it turns out the old analog signals didn't just poof, disappear everywhere. In some places, they're still out there, broadcasting. And with an SDR, you can actually find them and watch these ghost signals from a totally different era. And there's even specialized software like TVSharp that's built to do exactly this. It's designed to lock onto these old PAL or NTSC video signals and actually display them on your screen. It's just a wild way to see broadcasting history literally come back to life. So let's just recap for a second. The air is basically a giant invisible library. We've managed to pull out digital radio, song information, live traffic maps, and even old school TV shows. And honestly, that is just scratching the surface. But the most incredible part of all of this is just how accessible it is now. For not a lot of money, with a simple device and some free software, anybody with a little curiosity has the power to tune in and start exploring this hidden world for themselves.
I mean, all of this stuff is flying past us, through us, every single second of every day, and we're totally oblivious. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other signals, what other data is out there right now, just waiting for someone to tune in and find it?